Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of November 7th, 2018. Hopefully everyone went out and voted yesterday if you were eligible to vote. It was a really big turnout yesterday in the 2018 midterm elections. Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking for a lot of it. Some really bad upsets and some really cool flipping and all that stuff. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So hopefully you went out and voted, and you did, yeah. And with that out of the way, let's get right into this week's pull list. First up on the pull list is Adventures of the Super Sons, number 4. Tomasi's done an amazing job on continuing some more stories with Jonathan and Damien, so I can't wait to see what this one entails. Next up, we have Batman number 58. Apparently, Penguin has a secret, so we'll see what that is. Tom King, again, has done a fantastic job on Batman. I cannot wait to read it every few weeks when it comes out. Super, super good stuff. And I've already read this issue. It's really good, so I can't wait to read it again, because I've been reading the single issues of Tom King's Batman twice. So, it's good stuff. Next up, we have The Curse of Brimstone, number 8. This is from the new DC's New Age of Heroes. It's not fantastic. It's not anything but just reading, and I'm so far into it that I'm just waiting for it to be done. It's okay. It's nothing grandiose. The characters, whatever. What's happening in the book is eh. I mean, it's something that, if I had to cut something, that would be one of the first things to cut. DC Nation at number 6 is out this week. It's the free issue. You can get it at your local shop, or if you go through Comixology, you can download it for free as well. If you go to conspiratorbrock.com for this week's pull list, all of whenever I do my pull list, all of the links for each one goes to the Comixology website for Comics Conspiracy, the store I work at, and if you buy it through there, we get a little cut. So thank you to everyone who does that. But yeah, you can head over there and get a free copy of DC Nation if you can't grab a physical one. Next up is The Dreaming, number 3. This is from the Sandman Universe books. I've enjoyed it. It's tough to say that since it's a Psi Superior book, and statistically I'm not a big Psi Superior fan, but The Dreaming has been okay. Far better than House of Whispers. 2 issues I was done. Lucifer I didn't even get, I finished the first issue and I was like, nope, can't do it. So far the only 2 holdouts, or the new Sandman Universe stuff that I'm into right now is The Dreaming and, oh god, what's it? Oh, Books of Magic. Books of Magic was really good. So, next up is a book that we were shorted and finally got in, and that's Faith Dreamside, number 2. Sometimes books get shorted, and so I don't get them the week they come out, but we get orders filled on it, and we get the book back, so I get it. Next up, we have Green Arrow number 46. Curious to see where Green Arrow goes from here. The new creative team on it is just getting their bearings, so we'll see where it all falls. The spoiler, Arsenal death did throw a little monkey wrench in what was going on in Green Arrow, but they've done a decent job at making it seem like it's flowing okay. So we'll see how it recovers from that and where it goes from here. Next up is a new number 1 from DC, and that is The Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and with art by Liam Sharp. I'm curious to see how this book does. It's taking us back to more of a cop procedural type view of the Green Lantern, especially Hal Jordan. So we'll see what kind of space cop he is. I'm curious to see how Liam Sharp's artwork translates in a more sci-fi realm. His stuff is very, very detailed. I love it. I loved his stuff in Brave and the Bold. That he nails the fantasy artwork. But I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy it as a sci-fi thing. So we'll see. Next up, we have Harley Quinn number 53. Sam Humphries is continuing his writing of Harley Quinn. It's been okay. It's a Harley book. It does what it does, and yep, that's it. Next up, we have Justice League number 11. This continues the Drowned Earth story arc. This is part 2. The special came out last week, so if you didn't snag that up, you might want to see about getting that before starting Drowned Earth. There is a couple of Prelude tie-in issues in Titans, Aquaman, and Justice League, so you may want to also grab those if you're interested in Drowned Earth. I enjoyed Drowned Earth. It's been good so far, so I'm really curious to see where it goes. Next up is one that we got a few weeks ago, but we didn't get the main cover, and that's Old Lady Harley number 1. I read it. I enjoyed it. So, yeah, if you didn't get a chance to get Old Lady Harley, or if you got Old Lady Harley number 1 and liked it, cool. If not, and you're not a Harley fan, there's no point in getting it. Next up, we have Star Wars Adventures, Destroyer Down. I think this is the new weekly mini-series that's going to come out from the Star Wars Adventure line of books. The last one they did was Tales from Vader's Castle. Of course, it's for my son, so yeah. And finally on my pull list is Suicide Squad Black Files number 1. I'm really curious to see what the story with Gentleman Ghost is in this. But they canceled this book and then resolicited it because I think of the delays with DC changing the release dates on things due to the holiday shipping delays. So if you subscribed to it, make sure your store knows that you still want to subscribe to it. Hopefully they can figure that out. I was getting it. I want to keep getting it. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what that book brings us. I did grab up some of the variants this week. First up was for Batman 58, had an awesome variant cover there. The variant for Green Arrow 46 was awesome as well, so I snagged that one up. I picked up the Green Lantern number 1 variant. They're a very dark one there. They had a blank cover for it as well. And, of course, there was a midnight release variant. We didn't do a midnight release at Comics Conspiracy, but we did get some of the midnight release variants. And that's just the black and white uninked cover for the main. So, yeah. Harley Quinn 53 had a funny Frank Cho one. And, of course, Justice League number 11 had a pretty bitchin' cover right there. Jim Lee apparently is probably done doing his variants for Justice League, so it looks like they're going with somebody else, but the artwork's amazing, so yeah. I did pick up a couple special orders this week. One special order I did get, it was something for my son, and that's Star Wars Droidography. I'm not too happy with the layout of this book. The spine here seems very, very weak because they do this two-tone. They do this like, oh, we're going to do the binding in this stuff, and then we're going to overlay the cover art on this with this type of binding I've never been a big fan of. This book seemed like it was going to be pretty interesting, but as I flipped through it, I noticed that it comes with loose page, like extra these things. So it's like, it's cool that you can do that, but you need to be very, very careful when you're like working, like when you're moving stuff, because you don't want something to end up not folding back properly or folding in on itself. It does have like interesting little stuff going on there. So I'm curious to see how it all turns out, but for the most part, I'm not the biggest fan of this type of binding, so to me it's a very weak binding. I understand why they did it, because they want it a little more, like when it closes a little more easier, so it doesn't pinch or bend those pages, those flaps things. We'll see. And we'll see if my son likes it. If he likes it, then it doesn't matter what I think. Yep. They finally released a deluxe edition of Batman Gates of Gotham by Scott Snyder. And if you have not read this, you seriously need to. It's one of Scott's earlier works with Batman, and it's just a really, really fantastic story. Really, really well done. This collects issues 1 through 5 of Gates of Gotham, as well as some stuff, some stories from Detective, and some sketch work. So definitely something that if you like Scott Snyder, definitely one of the things that you need to pick up. It's good stuff. And then I did grab this book because I saw it and I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. And this is DC's The Autonomy of a Metahuman. So this is kind of like a book that you go through and you see what the breakdown of the anatomy of the metahuman is. So like here they have Bane and Cyborg and Martian Manhunter and Aquaman and like Superman in the center. So I'm really curious to see what this entails. It's more, I think, of an art book collection, but I'm super stoked to see what is in this book, because it seems like a really cool concept to have pages that show like what is inside these characters. I did get some more special orders this week. One of them is a t-shirt, and I got it because I'm excited for the new movie coming out, and that is Aquaman. Aquaman comes out in December. I'm super excited. Or is it December? I think it's December. Soon. It's coming out soon. So, of course, I snagged up an Aquaman t-shirt for the movie logo. Awesome stuff. And I did get some statues this week. Big week for me with random special order stuff. What is this? The Diamond Gallery figures. This is the DC Harley Quinn Suicide Squad edition. So it's got her sitting on an open crate with her hammer in a fun little pose. You can see the picture of it right there on the back. Again, these gallery figures are really cool because the quality looks amazing. It's plastic, so it's really light. But the price point is really good. It's normally about $45. And you basically get this nice kind of statue looking thing to display without spending statue level prices. So if you have a budget, these are the way to go. And they've got tons of gallery figures now, and more coming out every day. This one right here, the Batman Who Laughs, is a gallery figure. It's still really solid. So I've started to pick up a couple of them that I think are really cool. So yeah, so ask your local shop about it. Check them out online. They're definitely something that I would say is a good investment if you don't have like tons of money to buy statues, but you still want to buy something to display. And speaking of statues, I got another statue from the DC CoverGirl's Joelle Jones line, and that is the Catwoman statue. This one looks to be really awesome. So yeah, they have the Supergirl. I think I'm gonna hopefully grab. I'm not sure about the Batgirl, but yeah, really cool design, all that stuff. This sucker is heavy. It is definitely something that's heavy. The safe is basically kind of just like a giant, like really dense rock. So hopefully I'll be able to get to doing an unboxing video, not only for this one, but for the Harley Quinn gallery figure as well. So stay tuned for those. So yeah, so that's it for this week. A lot of stuff came in. Sometimes that happens where you order and nothing comes in, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, everything comes in. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. We did not record an episode of the Comic Conspiracy this week due to the fact that the midterm elections were on the night that we normally record, and it was a very anxious time to kind of see where our government was going. So Ryan decided not to record. So we'll be back next week. We'll probably have a bunch of stuff to talk about. Most likely October sales charts, and possibly some casting, or some information on like casting or something. So I saw something about Grant Morrison and some something, and yeah. So there's a link in the description below where you can check out our podcast and listen to some of our other episodes. Head on over, or click the link and you can head on over and do that. You can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees, getting food sometimes, and of course helping us get some product. So thank you very much, guys. It helps out immensely. Stuff's not cheap, and as you can see, I got a bunch of stuff. So help out as much as you can. It is greatly appreciated. If you want to help me out more directly, you can always go over to my eBay page and check out what I'm purging out of my collection. I think I have a handful of items up right now that are ending this weekend. So you can click the link down below and you can head over there. You can also, any of the Amazon links that you click on for things that like statues or books or graphic novels, whatever, that's here or on my website, conspiratorbrock.com, and you purchase it, that helps me as well. So thank you very much for that, for those of you that do it. Yep. A lot of stuff, and I got to get a video up for you guys. So I'll see you next week.